Waitress ignored Jisoo's smile, but his response left her speechless. The neon sign of Rosie's Diner, a beacon against the rain-slicked streets of Chicago, cast a pale glow on Jisoo's face as he pushed open the door. He wasn't just any customer, he was Jisoo Kim, the celebrated pianist, whose concerts sold out months in advance. But tonight, he was just a man seeking refuge from the storm and a quiet cup of coffee. He'd just finished a grueling rehearsal for his upcoming world tour, and the cacophony of the orchestra still echoed faintly in his ears. He craved the normalcy, the anonymity, that a place like Rosie's offered. He scanned the nearly empty diner. A lone truck driver nursed a cup of black coffee in a corner booth. A young couple huddled together, sharing a plate of fries and whispered secrets. And behind the counter, wiping it down with a practiced hand, stood a waitress. Her name tag read Brenda. Jisoo approached the counter and offered Brenda a warm, genuine smile. It was a smile that had charmed audiences worldwide, a smile that conveyed warmth and sincerity. But Brenda didn't return it. Her expression remained impassive, almost indifferent. She simply pointed to a booth near the window with a curt nod. Jisoo, taken aback but not overtly offended, took his seat. He was used to being recognized, to the fawning attention that often came with his fame. But he also valued genuine human connection, and Brenda's lack of acknowledgement, while surprising, was almost refreshing. Brenda finally approached his booth, her movements economical and efficient. "What'll it be?" she asked, her voice devoid of any particular inflection. "Just a black coffee, please," Jisoo replied, offering another small, hopeful smile. Again, it was met with a blank stare. She scribbled the order on her pad and walked away. Jisoo watched her, a flicker of curiosity in his eyes. He noticed the weariness etched around her eyes, the slight slump in her shoulders. There was a story there, he sensed, a story that wasn't being told. The coffee arrived quickly, placed on the table with a clink. "Anything else?" Brenda asked, already turning to leave. "No, thank you," Jisoo said. He took a sip of the coffee. It was strong and bitter, but it warmed him from the inside out. He watched Brenda as she continued her duties, wiping tables, refilling sugar dispensers, her movements precise and almost robotic. He finished his coffee slowly, lost in thought. He could have easily pulled out his phone, checked his emails, escaped into the digital world. But something about Brenda's demeanor compelled him to stay present, to observe. He felt a strange empathy for her, a sense that she was carrying a heavy burden. Finally, he signaled for her attention. She approached his booth with a sigh that was almost imperceptible. "Can I get you anything else?" "Actually, yes," Jisoo said, his voice gentle. "I was wondering, are you all right?" Brenda's eyes widened slightly, a flicker of surprise crossing her face. "I'm fine," she said quickly, her voice defensive. "Just busy." "I understand," Jisoo said. "But I couldn't help but notice, you seem a little down. Is everything okay?" Brenda hesitated, her gaze darting around the diner. She seemed to be weighing whether or not to open up to this stranger. Finally, she sighed, a deep, weary sigh that seemed to come from the depths of her soul. It's my son," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "He's sick. Really sick. And the medical bills, they're piling up. I don't know what I'm going to do." Tears welled up in her eyes, and she quickly wiped them away with the back of her hand. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice trembling. "I shouldn't be bothering you with this." Jisoo reached across the table and gently placed his hand over hers. "You're not bothering me," he said, his voice filled with compassion. "I'm here to listen." Brenda looked at him, her eyes filled with gratitude and disbelief. She told him about her son, Michael, who was diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia. She told him about the endless doctor's appointments, the grueling chemotherapy treatments, the mounting debt that threatened to consume her. As she spoke, Jisoo listened intently, his heart aching for her. He knew what it was like to feel helpless, to feel overwhelmed by circumstances beyond his control. He remembered his own struggles, the years of relentless practice, the sacrifices he had made to achieve his dreams. He had been fortunate, but he also knew that luck was only part of the equation. He had also had people who believed in him, who supported him, who helped him along the way. When Brenda finished her story, she was trembling, her face streaked with tears. Jisoo squeezed her hand gently. "I want to help," he said. Brenda shook her head. "No, you don't have to," she said. "I appreciate the thought, but—" "I insist," Jisoo said, his voice firm but gentle. "Tell me how much you need." Brenda hesitated, then reluctantly told him the amount. It was a staggering sum, a sum that seemed impossible to her. Jisoo nodded. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his checkbook. He wrote out a check for the full amount, then handed it to Brenda. Brenda stared at the check, her eyes wide with disbelief. I can't," she stammered. "This is too much. I can't accept this." "Yes, you can," Jisoo said, his voice unwavering. "Consider it a gift. From one human being to another. And promise me you'll use it to help your son get the treatment he needs." Brenda burst into tears, tears of relief and gratitude. She threw her arms around Jisoo and hugged him tightly. "Thank you," she sobbed. "Thank you so much. I don't know what to say." Jisoo hugged her back, his heart filled with warmth. "You don't have to say anything," he said. "Just take care of your son." Brenda pulled away, wiping her eyes. "I will," she said, her voice filled with determination. "I promise you, I will." Jisoo smiled, a genuine, heartfelt smile that radiated warmth and sincerity. This time, Brenda returned it. It wasn't the polished, professional smile she usually gave to customers. It was a raw, vulnerable smile that expressed her gratitude and her hope. I still can't believe it," she said, shaking her head. "You're a stranger, and you're doing this for me. Why?" Jisoo shrugged. "Because it's the right thing to do," he said. "Because everyone deserves a chance. And because sometimes, all it takes is a little kindness to make a world of difference." He stood up to leave. "Take care, Brenda," he said. "And give Michael my best." Brenda watched him go, her eyes filled with tears. She couldn't believe what had just happened. A stranger, a famous pianist, had walked into her diner and changed her life forever. As Jisoo walked out into the rain, he felt a sense of peace and fulfillment wash over him. He realized that true happiness didn't come from fame or fortune. It came from making a difference in the lives of others. The next day, Brenda went to the bank to deposit the check. The teller, recognizing Jisoo's name, was stunned. The news spread quickly throughout the town. Jisoo's act of kindness became a local sensation, a testament to the power of human compassion. Word eventually reached Jisoo, who was already on the other side of the world, preparing for his next concert. He smiled when he heard the news. He didn't do it for the recognition, but he was glad that his actions had inspired others. A few months later, Jisoo received a letter. It was from Brenda. She wrote to tell him that Michael was in remission. The treatment had worked. He was getting stronger every day. She thanked Jisoo again, her words filled with gratitude and love. She also included a drawing that Michael had made for him, a colorful picture of a piano with a smiling face. Jisoo framed the drawing and hung it in his studio. It served as a constant reminder of the power of kindness, the importance of empathy, and the ability of one person to make a difference in the world. He often thought about Brenda and Michael, and he knew that their story would stay with him forever. He learned later that Brenda, inspired by Jisoo's generosity, had started a small foundation to help other families struggling with medical bills. She wanted to pay it forward, to spread the kindness that she had received. Jisoo's response to Brenda's initial indifference had indeed left her speechless, but it had also ignited a spark within her, a spark of hope, a spark of compassion, a spark that would continue to shine brightly for years to come. He had shown her that even in the darkest of times, there was always light to be found, and that even the smallest act of kindness could have a profound impact on the world. His simple act of generosity had not only saved a young boy's life but had also inspired a community to embrace the power of compassion and to work together to create a better world. The world needed more Jisoo Kims, and Brenda was determined to be one, in her own way. the ignored smile had blossomed into a legacy of kindness. The story of Jisoo and Brenda became a local legend in Chicago, a heartwarming tale whispered in the booths of Rosie's Diner and shared across social media, a beacon of hope in a world often shrouded in cynicism. But the story didn't end there. The ripples of Jisoo's kindness continued to spread, reaching far beyond the Windy City. One day, a producer from a national news program contacted Jisoo's management. They wanted to feature his story on their show, to highlight the impact of his generosity and to inspire others to do the same. Jisoo, initially hesitant, agreed. He wasn't comfortable with the spotlight, but he understood the power of storytelling and the potential to reach a wider audience. The segment aired during primetime, showcasing Jisoo's musical talent and his philanthropic endeavors. It featured interviews with Brenda, who spoke eloquently and passionately about Jisoo's kindness and the positive impact it had had on her and Michael's lives. Michael, now a healthy and energetic young boy, also made an appearance, shyly thanking Jisoo for saving his life. The response was overwhelming. Donations poured into Brenda's foundation, allowing her to expand her reach and help even more families in need. People from all walks of life were inspired by Jisoo's story, volunteering their time, donating their resources, and simply being kinder to one another. Jisoo received countless letters and emails from people who had been touched by his actions. Many shared their own stories of hardship and resilience, expressing their gratitude for his example and their commitment to making a difference in their own communities. But amidst the outpouring of support, there were also critics. Some accused Jisoo of seeking publicity, of using his act of kindness as a PR stunt. Others questioned his motives, suggesting that he was simply trying to buy goodwill. Jisoo ignored the negativity. He knew his heart was pure, and he refused to let the cynicism of others diminish the positive impact of his actions. He continued to use his platform to advocate for causes he believed in, to inspire others to be compassionate, and to promote the importance of human connection. As his world tour progressed, Jisoo made it a point to visit hospitals and children's homes in every city he performed in. He spent time with patients, played music for them, and offered them words of encouragement. He wanted to show them that they were not alone, that there was hope, and that even in the face of adversity, they could find joy and meaning in life. During one of his concerts in London, Jisoo dedicated a song to Brenda and Michael. He told their story to the audience, his voice filled with emotion. He spoke about the power of kindness, the importance of empathy, and the ability of one person to make a difference in the world. The audience was deeply moved, giving Jisoo a standing ovation that lasted for several minutes. Back in Chicago, Brenda continued to run her foundation, working tirelessly to help families struggling with medical bills. She never forgot Jisoo's kindness, and she made it her mission to pay it forward, to spread the hope and compassion that he had given her. Michael, now a teenager, was thriving. He excelled in school, played on the basketball team, and volunteered at a local soup kitchen. He was a bright, compassionate young man, determined to make a positive impact on the world. He idolized Jisoo, seeing him as a role model and a hero. One day, Michael approached Brenda with a request. He wanted to meet Jisoo, to thank him in person for saving his life. Brenda, knowing how much it would mean to Michael, reached out to Jisoo's management team. Jisoo, touched by the request, immediately agreed. He arranged for Brenda and Michael to fly to Seoul, where he was currently performing. The reunion was emotional. Jisoo embraced Brenda and Michael warmly, his eyes filled with tears. They spent the day together, exploring the city, sharing stories, and laughing. Michael, finally having the opportunity to speak to his hero face-to-face, expressed his gratitude with heartfelt sincerity. He told Jisoo how much his kindness had meant to him, how it had given him hope during his darkest hours, and how it had inspired him to be a better person. Jisoo, humbled by Michael's words, told him that he was the one who was inspired. He said that Michael's resilience and his determination to overcome adversity had taught him a valuable lesson about the power of the human spirit. As the day drew to a close, Jisoo took Brenda and Michael to a quiet park overlooking the city. They sat together on a bench, watching the sunset. "You know," Jisoo said, his voice soft, "sometimes I wonder why things happen the way they do. Why some people have to suffer while others seem to have it all." Brenda nodded, her eyes filled with understanding. "I've asked myself that question many times," she said. I don't have the answer, Jisoo continued. But I do believe that everything happens for a reason. And I believe that even in the midst of suffering, there is always hope. There is always light. And there is always the possibility of kindness. He paused, looking at Brenda and Michael. Your story has taught me that, he said. It has reminded me that even the smallest act of kindness can have a profound impact on the world. And it has inspired me to continue using my platform to make a difference, to spread hope, and to promote compassion. Michael smiled, his eyes shining with admiration. You've already made a difference, Jisoo, he said. You've saved my life. And you've inspired countless others to be kinder, to be more compassionate, and to make the world a better place. Jisoo smiled back, his heart filled with gratitude. He knew that his journey was far from over, but he was confident that he was on the right path. He had learned that true happiness didn't come from fame or fortune. It came from making a difference in the lives of others, from spreading hope, and from promoting the power of human connection. The waitress who initially ignored Jisoo's smile had, unknowingly, set in motion a chain of events that would touch countless lives and inspire a global movement of kindness. Jisoo's response, born of empathy and compassion, had left her speechless, but it had also given her a voice, a purpose, and a renewed faith in humanity. The ignored smile had blossomed into a legacy of love, a testament to the transformative power of human connection. And it all started with a simple cup of coffee at Rosie's Diner on a rainy night in Chicago. The world keeps spinning, but the diner's story remains, a whispered promise of hope. Years passed. Jisoo continued his musical journey, his fame reaching even greater heights. He never forgot Brenda and Michael, checking in on them regularly and supporting Brenda's foundation. His initial act of kindness had blossomed into a lifelong friendship and a shared mission to make the world a more compassionate place. One day, Jisoo received an invitation to perform at a gala benefiting cancer research. He accepted without hesitation. He knew this was an opportunity to honor Michael and Brenda, and to raise awareness for a cause that was deeply personal to him. The gala was a star-studded affair, attended by celebrities, philanthropists, and prominent figures from the medical community. As Jisoo took the stage, he felt a surge of emotion. He dedicated his performance to Michael, who was in the audience with Brenda, healthy and thriving. He played a piece he had composed specifically for the occasion, a soaring melody filled with hope and resilience. The music resonated deeply with the audience, many of whom had been touched by cancer in some way. Tears streamed down faces as Jisoo poured his heart and soul into the performance. At the end of the song, the audience erupted in applause. Jisoo bowed, his eyes meeting Michael's. He saw the gratitude and admiration in the young man's eyes, and he knew that he had made a difference. After the performance, Jisoo was approached by a woman who introduced herself as Dr. Eleanor Vance, a leading oncologist. She thanked him for his support and told him that his music had inspired her and her colleagues to continue their tireless work in the fight against cancer. Dr. Vance then told Jisoo about a groundbreaking research project she was leading, a project that had the potential to revolutionize cancer treatment. However, the project was facing funding challenges and was in danger of being shut down. Jisoo, moved by Dr. Vance's dedication and the potential of her research, decided to step in. He pledged a significant donation to the project, ensuring that it would continue to move forward. His donation sparked a wave of support from other donors, and Dr. Vance's research project was not only saved but also expanded. Years later, the project yielded a major breakthrough in cancer treatment, saving countless lives and offering hope to millions of people around the world. Jisoo's act of kindness, which began with a simple gesture in a diner, had ultimately led to a medical breakthrough that would benefit humanity for generations to come. As Jisoo grew older, he began to reflect on his life and his legacy. He realized that his greatest accomplishment was not his musical talent or his fame, but the positive impact he had had on the lives of others. He continued to use his platform to advocate for causes he believed in, to inspire others to be compassionate, and to promote the importance of human connection. He traveled the world, sharing his story and encouraging people to embrace the power of kindness. One day, Jisoo received a Lifetime Achievement Award for his contributions to music and philanthropy. As he stood on the stage, accepting the award, he thought about Brenda and Michael, and all the people who had been touched by his actions. He dedicated the award to them, saying that they were the true heroes, the ones who had inspired him to be a better person and to make a difference in the world. In his final years, Jisoo wrote a memoir, chronicling his life and his journey. He dedicated a chapter to Brenda and Michael, sharing their story and expressing his gratitude for their friendship. The memoir became a bestseller, inspiring millions of people around the world. Jisoo's story became a symbol of hope, a reminder that even the smallest act of kindness can have a profound impact on the world. When Jisoo passed away, the world mourned the loss of a musical genius and a compassionate humanitarian. His legacy lived on through his music, his philanthropy, and the countless lives he had touched. Brenda and Michael attended his funeral, along with thousands of fans, friends, and admirers. They stood together, holding hands, remembering the man who had changed their lives forever. As they looked at Jisoo's portrait, they smiled, knowing that his spirit would continue to inspire them and others for generations to come. The waitress who ignored Jisoo's smile had unknowingly played a part in creating a legacy of kindness that would resonate throughout the world. And Jisoo's response, born of empathy and compassion, had left an indelible mark on humanity. The ignored smile had become a beacon of hope, illuminating the path towards a more compassionate and just world. Years after Jisoo's death, Rosie's Diner became a landmark. People traveled from all over the world to visit the diner, to sit in the booth where Jisoo had sat, and to reflect on his story. Brenda, now an elderly woman, still worked at the diner, greeting customers with a warm smile and sharing her memories of Jisoo. Michael, now a successful doctor, continued to support Brenda's foundation and to advocate for cancer research. He never forgot Jisoo's kindness, and he made it his mission to pay it forward, to spread hope and compassion to others. And so, the story of Jisoo and Brenda continued to be told, passed down from generation to generation, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always light to be found, and that even the smallest act of kindness can have a profound impact on the world. The legacy of the ignored smile lived on, a testament to the transformative power of human connection and the enduring spirit of hope. The diner, the music, the foundation, and the countless lives touched by Jisoo's generosity all stood as a testament to the ripple effect of a single, selfless act. The world was undeniably a better place because a waitress ignored a smile, and a pianist responded with kindness. That simple interaction, born from a moment of indifference and transformed by an act of compassion, echoed through time, a soft but persistent melody of hope and humanity. The end. The legend of Jisoo and Brenda, however, took another unexpected turn. Decades after the initial encounter at Rosie's Diner, a young filmmaker named Anya Sharma stumbled upon the story while researching local Chicago legends. Anya, a recent film school graduate with a passion for heartwarming narratives, felt an immediate connection to Jisoo and Brenda's story. She envisioned a documentary, not just about the initial act of kindness, but about the enduring impact it had on the community and the world. Anya began her research, meticulously gathering information from newspaper archives, online forums, and interviews with people who had been touched by Jisoo's generosity. She tracked down Brenda, now a frail but still vibrant woman in her late 80s, and spent countless hours listening to her stories and capturing her infectious spirit on camera. She interviewed Michael, now a renowned oncologist, who spoke eloquently about Jisoo's influence on his life and his dedication to fighting cancer. Anya also sought out the waitress, Brenda's colleague at Rosie's Diner, the woman who had inadvertently set the whole chain of events in motion by ignoring Jisoo's smile. Her name was Carol. Carol, now retired and living a quiet life in a small town outside Chicago, was initially hesitant to participate. She carried a burden of guilt for her initial rudeness, a feeling that had haunted her for decades. Anya, however, was persistent. She explained that her film wasn't about blame or judgment, but about the power of redemption and the unexpected consequences of even the smallest actions. She convinced Carol that her story was an essential part of the narrative, a reminder that everyone is capable of both good and bad, and that even mistakes can lead to positive outcomes. Carol eventually agreed to be interviewed. She spoke candidly about her life at the time of the incident, revealing that she had been struggling with personal problems and financial difficulties. She admitted that she had been overwhelmed and stressed, and that she had let her personal issues affect her interactions with customers. She expressed deep regret for ignoring Jisoo's smile, acknowledging that it had been a rude and insensitive thing to do. But she also expressed gratitude for the lesson she had learned, a lesson about the importance of empathy and compassion. Anya's documentary, titled The Ignored Smile, premiered at a local film festival in Chicago. The film was a critical and commercial success, winning several awards and garnering widespread media attention. It was praised for its heartwarming story, its compelling characters, and its powerful message of hope and redemption. The Ignored Smile was subsequently picked up by a major streaming service, reaching a global audience of millions. The film reignited interest in Jisoo and Brenda's story, inspiring a new generation of people to embrace the power of kindness and to make a difference in the world. Donations poured into Brenda's foundation, allowing her to expand her reach and help even more families in need. Michael's cancer research project received a significant boost in funding, accelerating the pace of discovery and bringing hope to millions of patients around the world. Carol, the waitress who had initially ignored Jisoo's smile, became an unlikely symbol of redemption. She received countless letters and emails from people who had been touched by her story, many of whom had struggled with their own past mistakes. She used her newfound platform to advocate for mental health awareness and to encourage people to seek help when they are struggling. Anya's documentary not only celebrated Jisoo and Brenda's story but also highlighted the interconnectedness of human lives and the ripple effect of even the smallest actions. It reminded people that every interaction, no matter how seemingly insignificant, has the potential to make a difference in the world. The story of Jisoo and Brenda, which began with a simple cup of coffee at Rosie's Diner on a rainy night in Chicago, had become a global phenomenon, a testament to the transformative power of human connection and the enduring spirit of hope. The Ignored Smile had blossomed into a legacy of love, a beacon of light in a world often shrouded in darkness. And so, the story continued to evolve, to inspire, and to touch the hearts of people around the world. The waitress who ignored Jisoo's smile had unknowingly played a part in creating a legacy of kindness that would resonate throughout eternity. And Jisoo's response, born of empathy and compassion, had left an indelible mark on humanity, a reminder that even the smallest act of kindness can change the world. The diner, the music, the foundation, the research, and the countless lives touched by Jisoo's generosity all stood as a testament to the ripple effect of a single, selfless act. The world was undeniably a better place because a waitress ignored a smile, and a pianist responded with kindness. That simple interaction, born from a moment of indifference and transformed by an act of compassion, echoed through time, a soft but persistent melody of hope and humanity. The enduring power of the story lay not just in the extraordinary act of generosity, but in the ordinariness of its beginning. It was a story about everyday people, facing everyday challenges, who were capable of both great kindness and unintentional cruelty. It was a story that reminded everyone that they, too, had the power to make a difference, to spread hope, and to create a more compassionate world. The legend of Jisoo and Brenda, forever etched in the annals of Chicago's history and beyond, served as a timeless reminder that even the smallest spark of kindness can ignite a flame that illuminates the world. The end. The film's success brought even more attention to Rosie's Diner. It became a place of pilgrimage, where people came not just for the coffee and the pancakes, but to feel a connection to the legend of Jisoo and Brenda. The diner, once a humble neighborhood eatery, was now a symbol of hope and human connection. The owner, a kind, elderly Greek man named George, embraced the diner's newfound fame. He adorned the walls with photos of Jisoo, Brenda, and Michael, and he even created a Jisoo special on the menu, a stack of blueberry pancakes with a side of bacon, Jisoo's favorite. George understood the significance of the story. He knew that Rosie's Diner was more than just a place to eat, it was a place where magic had happened, where a simple act of kindness had transformed lives and inspired a world. One day, a young woman named Maya walked into Rosie's Diner. She was a struggling musician, trying to make a name for herself in the cutthroat world of the Chicago music scene. She had heard the story of Jisoo countless times, and she felt a deep connection to him, not just as a musician, but as a fellow human being. Maya sat at the counter, ordered a cup of coffee, and gazed at the photos on the wall. She felt a sense of awe and inspiration, but also a sense of despair. She wondered if she would ever achieve her dreams, if she would ever make a difference in the world. As she was lost in her thoughts, Brenda walked over to her. Brenda, though frail, still possessed a warmth and a sparkle in her eyes that could light up a room. "You look troubled, dear," Brenda said, her voice soft and gentle. "Is everything all right?" Maya hesitated for a moment, then poured out her heart to Brenda. She told her about her struggles, her doubts, and her fears. She told her about her dreams of becoming a successful musician, but also about her fear of failure. Brenda listened patiently, her eyes filled with empathy. When Maya had finished, Brenda took her hand and squeezed it gently. "Don't give up, dear," Brenda said. Jisoo never gave up, even when things were tough. He believed in himself, and he